एक है दुर्योधन, दूसरा है दुशासन। इन दोनों को नाम मैं जानता हूँ। और कोई याद है आपको? तो आज भी कौरवों के 100 भाई हो सकते हैं, लेकिन 2 ही नाम याद है। आज भाजपा की घमंडी के साथ कहे हमारे पास इतनी बड़ी पार्टी है, ताकत है, सिर्फ 2 ही लोग याद है, वो है नरेंद्र मोदी और वो है अमित शाह।
कांग्रेस अध्यक्ष राहुल गांधी ने भी इस अवसर को नहीं छोड़ा। He also took a dig at the Prime Minister.
हिंदुस्तान की सरकार किसानों का काम, युवाओं का काम जब तक नहीं करेगी,
ठीक हुआ। अच्छा,
वो इस देश में नहीं बच सकेगी। और यही हालत हो गई है। अगर कोई भी सरकार हिंदुस्तान के किसान का अपमान करेगी, हिंदुस्तान के युवाओं का अपमान करेगी, तो उस सरकार को किसान और युवा हटा के ही दिखाएगा और यही होने वाला है।
Many years back, the slogan was Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan. And today I am prompted to ask, has Jai Rajniti also been added to it? Joining me to discuss that, Sanjay Jha of the Congress from Mumbai, Vaibhav Agarwal from the Bharatiya Janata Party, Avik Saha, National Convener of the Jai Kisan Andolan, and my colleague, Senior Editor, Vivek Avasthi. मैं सबसे पहले संजय जी आपके पास आना चाहूंगा, संजय झा जी, कि जहां पे किसान जो हमारे देश की रीढ़ की हड्डी है, जिसके कारण हमारा पालन पोषण होता है, जिसके कारण हमें खाना मिलता है, अनाज मिलता है, गेहूं मिलता है, चावल मिलता है, उसके कार्यक्रम में जहां उसकी समस्याएं डिस्कस हो रही हैं, वहां प्रधानमंत्री के विरोध में व्यक्तिगत इल्जाम क्यों लगाना? Does this not dilute and take away from the seriousness of the issues that farmers are facing? Would you condemn what those people have said today at this event against the Prime Minister of India?
Siddharth, it is insulting the farmers who are there in Delhi. It is humiliating the families who have lost the farmers who have committed suicide. If you are going to say that fighting for the farmers' rights is an act of politicization, देखिए सच्चाई क्या है, हकीकत क्या है कि आज जब किसान वहाँ पर दिल्ली पहुँच चुके हैं, प्रधानमंत्री कहाँ हैं? ये पहली बार नहीं हुआ है कि राजधानी में आपको देश भर से जो हमारे किसान लोग हैं जो वहाँ दिल्ली पहुँचे थे, वहाँ पर दिल्ली में आपने पिक्चर्स भी देखे होंगे किस तरीके से वहाँ पर किसानों ने वहाँ प्रदर्शन किया, उन्होंने विरोध किया। और प्रधानमंत्री मार्क जकरबर्ग के लिए उनको टाइम है, वो यहाँ पर राफेल घोटाले में वो निर्मला सीतारमण को पेरिस भेजती हैं, लेकिन किसानों के लिए कोई वक्त नहीं है। इसीलिए आज जो नारा आप सुन रहे हैं दिल्ली में, वो देश का नारा है कि नरेंद्र मोदी किसान विरोधी। और भारत के इतिहास में किसानों के विरुद्ध कोई भी ऐसा सरकार नहीं हुआ है। जो आप देखेंगे कि 3,50,000 करोड़ के जितने भी कर्जा था बड़े बड़े उद्योगपति का, उसको नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने माफ किया। और किसानों के लिए कुछ वक्त नहीं है उनके पास। देखिए ये सबसे बड़े जुमलेबाज हैं, क्योंकि ये इन्होंने कहा था, इन्होंने वादा किया था।
Mr. Jha, I am interrupting you because for the sake of brevity on the debate, Mr. Jha, I want to take that point in all fairness to the BJP spokesperson. Vaibhav, Mr. Jha, please. Mr. Jha, genuinely, I want to take a question to Vaibhav Agarwal. I'll come back to you. Honest to God, I promise you, just please bear with me, sir. I'm not interrupting you from theatrics. Vaibhav Agarwal, the point that the Congress leader is making, and while he has not responded to the question that I made, I want you to at least give a quick answer. Should the Prime Minister have cancelled an attendance at the G20, which is not some private industry event, but the group of 20 countries, as the Congress spokesperson here is claiming, Weber?
See, Siddharth, it is very easy for the Congress to throw the country back into the realms of darkness. कांग्रेस को एक चीज ये समझ नहीं आती है दैट पिछले 60 साल के ऊपर इन्होंने राज किया भारत पे, लिटरली राज किया है, पब्लिक सर्वेंट का प्रधान सेवक की परिभाषा जो होती है उसको कभी इम्प्लीमेंट नहीं किया। हमने राज नहीं किया है, हमने प्रधान सेवक की परिभाषा देखने की
सेवा की है,
सेवा करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं और करते रहेंगे।
क्यों है फिर
देखिए, किसान सड़कों पे है क्योंकि किसानों को राजनीतिक प्रारूप देकर, राजनीतिक लोभ और लुभान देकर, बिना सोचे समझे समझाए हुए जबरदस्ती उनको सड़कों पे उतारा जा रहा है। देखिए, 3,500 किसान आज, अगर नंबर जो मीडिया में रिपोर्ट हो रहे हैं, 3-3,500 किसान, वो देश के 40 लाख किसानों को रिप्रेजेंट नहीं कर सकते। आपको देखना पड़ेगा कि पिछले 4.5 साल में भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने इंडिया की एग्रीकल्चर जीडीपी के नंबर्स अगर देखें तो 15% से ज्यादा की ग्रोथ ली है पिछले 4.5 साल में केवल।
चलिए,
अगर यही नंबर हम पिछले यूपीए 2 के
मैं आपको लेटेस्ट जीडीपी का नंबर बताऊं फार्म सेक्टर का, इट हैज कम डाउन. Farm sector growth in the second quarter of FY19.
It has come down.
It has come down, but
because there are market fluctuations. It is okay.
Dollar value, just allow me. Let's not add too many points in one answer. Honestly, Vivek, I want to come to you because here the BJP, in response to what Sanjay Jha said, is making a claim that these protests are motivated. These are my words, and all these farm groups have been put together. He might also then go on to say, again my words, that their railway tickets are being funded by someone.
Absolutely. Who's funding the protest?
Who is funding the protest?
It is a very big
Vivek
question.
Your own view. My colleague Ashutosh Kumar, our colleague, was also on the ground to cover this. We'll perhaps go to him in a bit. But Vivek, your own reading.
First, I would like to counter Mr. Weber Agarwal. He's saying 3,000 farmers. I put the figure at 50,000. Number one. 50,000.
Okay.
Number two, this was an anti-climatic end to the whole show because it was politically hijacked by parties who made it look a strength of show over there, and they were so leader like Yeshuri, he seems to have simply lost it by making such derogatory remarks against the PM,
which is the point on which hold your thoughts, Vivek. Avik Saha, I want to come to you, Avik bhai. Are you disappointed that at what my own colleague says 50,000 farmers, the BJP has a lower number? Let's leave that aside. Avik Saha, are you disappointed that at a place where you had 15 significant demands, and instead of debating them, Sitaram Yechuri and others have provided a handle to all the people who are questioning this demonstration, instead of focusing on the real issues that the farm sector is facing? Are you disappointed with what the politicians did? Why did you allow them to participate?
Siddharth, I hope you'll give me a little time because I just want to set some facts right. Any opinion. The first is that the political parties came to the meeting at the invitation of All India Kisan Sangharsh Coordination Committee. I am the secretary of that committee. The political parties had already been called upon in March 2018, and they were given 2 copies of the bills. AIKCC is not acting like the old Kisan Andolans and organizations. We are telling that there is an agrarian crisis. The crisis needs a solution. We have proposed 2 laws to solve the crisis. Those 2 laws are pending in Parliament, one in Rajya Sabha and the other in Lok Sabha. Now we are saying that the ruling party and the opposition, everybody should come together, hold a special session of Parliament, which only the Prime Minister can call, the government can call, discuss the agrarian crisis in the context of the 2 bills and resolve it. This is not a political issue. But I will, as I said, I will not express any opinion. That's one. Factually, that's it. In March, 28th March, we called all parties, including the BJP, to study the bills and to give their suggestions. Many parties came. Sharad Pawar and I think Dinesh Trivedi of Trinamool and few others actually said that no, we must sit with the bills, study it, and then we'll come back to you. You give a few people from your committee into this. There was a deliberation, there was an exchange. Line by line, the bills were corrected and then placed in Parliament in the monsoon session. Now, the engagement with the political parties is not for politics, because only the political parties can pass the 2 bills which we are proposing as the solution to the agrarian crisis. If we don't engage with political parties, how will this come about? That's one. And the second thing is, everybody understands that the farmers are the largest voting bloc in the country if they vote as farmers. Mr. Modi himself in 2014 used this as his capital to come to power. Now that he hasn't delivered to the farmers for 5 years, and we can debate whether he has, whether he hasn't, but we are of the opinion, clear opinion, after studying and after going through the whole country, state by state, that he hasn't delivered. The opposition has been called to today's meeting only to express whether they will use the two bills as their manifesto promises. Many of the parties actually expressed it. If you go through the speeches of the leaders, you will hear that they said so. So the farmers' movement is engaging the political parties to make them commit to a solution which they are offering to the agrarian crisis. This is the factual matrix. After this, if somebody wins an election or loses an election, it's their business.
Mr. Saha, Avik ji, this is Vaibhav Agarwal, I represent the BJP. Since we are the party in question right now, I'd like to ask you a very simple question. You seem to be an English-speaking agriculturist who's representing public policy on behalf of the farmers of the country. You know, there's a scheme in 2014 which we launched, the National Agricultural Market. I don't know if you'd know. Can you tell me what is the success of that from a policy perspective implementation? I will talk to you. I have a reply for the two bills that you're talking about. I have a status for you, but because you never chose to come back to us to ask for a status update on the bills, but I do have a status, and I'm going on record to say that. But before that, can you tell me what is the NAM success? The NAM program success for the farmers, which was launched by the Government of India in 2015. Just one simple question.
Okay. Yes,
I hope you have the answer.
If you're referring to the ENAM, if you're referring to the ENAM, it hasn't worked. Ask any farmer. Go to any mandi.
Doesn't work.
And
exactly.
I detect your sarcasm about English-speaking farmers, policy people.
Let him finish.
But just a minute.
I also want to go to Sanjay Jha for him to elaborate on a point that I cut him off on. But Mr. Saha, answer this and then we'll quickly proceed with the debate.
Yeah. ENAM hasn't worked, and English-speaking people will engage in agricultural because, for your information, Vaibhav, the educated sons of farmers, I give you one example, a Kedar Sirohi, will come into this politics. So I'm sorry, the days of the old farmer with a turban who will not understand your political maneuvering are over. You will have to engage with people. The world is changing, sir. You'll have to change with it.
You know, may I now quickly give him two figures for the success of the program, because it completes the loop of the question that I asked. A simple thing. I have numbers.
One second. The status update.
Go ahead.
1 minute. The status update that you talk about, we wrote you a letter, you never replied. What are you suggesting? That we go and talk to you every day, ask you, do you have a reply for us? What kind of a trite answer is that? Yeah, you may go ahead, please.
Now may I?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead with your answer.
So quick retort on the figures as of December 2016. The NAM figures get reported every year, and the 2017 figures are still coming in, clubbed with the 2018 figures. But as of 2016, the first 1.5 years of the success of ENAM, 35,04,371 some 0.13 tons of agriculture produce was transacted, worth about 88,000 crores just in the first year of the ENAM project. Where is that money going? Eliminating the middlemen. That's called policy framework for agriculture and farmers' welfare. That's exactly what Avik ji needs to know about, you know, when he talks about ENAM not being a success. As far as the letter that he's talking about written to the government, you know, he's come into the policy framework, but he doesn't know how the government works. The government works for representation. They have not asked for time to the minister, but they've gone to the streets multiple times, and the government has come back to say, invited them over to come and have a discussion with the government. They've not come back. They've done politics because all the political parties are involved.
What prevented a BJP representative, whosoever it could have been, to go and meet the protesters today?
No, but these are not the protesters. These are politically funded, motivated people who are wearing red lal caps. What do you mean by wearing lal caps? You are an agriculture guy. Why aren't you wearing a green cap? हरित क्रांति जिसको हम सब बात करते हैं एग्रीकल्चर की, हिंदुस्तान की संस्कृति की बात कर रहे हैं हम, एग्रीकल्चर में अंग्रेजी पना कहां लेके आ रहे हैं? लाल कैप लाल का कैप क्या है?
Why would that be objectable?
So boss, it's absolutely objectable because this is a politically motivated. जिस मन से आप देश के प्रधानमंत्री को, मेरे आपके प्रधानमंत्री को, चाहे हमारे पॉलिटिकल आइडियोलॉजीज का फर्क हो, उससे फर्क नहीं है, आप देश के प्रधानमंत्री को गाली नहीं दे सकते।
अवीक साहब, just respond to this.
Or representing an organization that has a Bharatiya Kisan Sangh.
The protests are funded and motivated.
The BJP has its own farmers' cell. Why is BJP into farmers' cell? Why does BJP have a farmers' cell? It's a political party.
Of course, आपने दो बिल मॉनसून सेशन में प्रोड्यूस किए, कांग्रेस ने मॉनसून सेशन चलने नहीं दिया।
Okay, no,
जिसके मन से राहुल गांधी ने मीटिंग खाई।
एक सेकंड, one second. Sanjay Jha, I'm bringing you back into the debate because I had cut you off at a point where I wanted to ask a question of the BJP. One second, please, sir. Sanjay Jha, I have another question for you. The point that the BJP made, and he spoke about 60 years. Now, in the latest round of state elections, Sanjay Jha, and correct me if I am wrong, sir, the Congress has promised a farm loan waiver in every state election over the last 1 year. You did this in 2009 also. Despite the 2009 farm loan waiver, 10 years later, farmers are back at square one. Sir, couldn't the Congress, with its intellectual firepower, not have come up with a better set of long-term solutions for the farming community, sir?
Well, let me answer your question, and I hope you will give me time, the amount of bandwidth and airtime that has been given to the BJP here. But I am certainly astonished by the political arrogance of the Bharatiya Janata Party. This is a party that actually shot farmers to death in Mandsaur in Madhya Pradesh. This is a party that is cold and callous towards farmer interests. And I can't believe it. When you're talking about farmers, 40,000 of them walked from Nashik to Mumbai, where I live. I mean, the BJP has to be the most, hubris-infested party if it believes that this is a political movement. I mean, when Narendra Modi looks away and favors only the crony capitalists, what do you expect the opposition parties to do? Neglect the farmers? Who will fight for the farmers' interests if we don't? Narendra Modi won't do that, and the world knows it. And let me tell you, watch for the results on December 11th. I heard the BJP spokesperson here today talking with absolutely shocking apathy on the farmer issue, trying to tell your viewers that this is a political issue. The fact is, what are the farmers talking about? Loan waiver is one issue. They want to talk about holding a special session of parliament. They are worried about the way the MSP has been misled by Narendra Modi and Arun Jaitley. The calculation of the MSP foundations are wrong. They are not taking cost of the rent of land, of the borrowing cost. They're not talking about many other household costs that have to be factored into the calculations. They have misled the farmers. Arun Jaitley has
allow
lied
the parliament session to function. Every time in last 4 years the parliament session got washed off, and the Congress has to get up and take responsibility of the party leading and misleading the people of India for the parliament session to be washed off.
Don't interrupt me. I can outshout you, but I'm not going to do that. We can have a civilized debate here. The fundamental point is that today...
I'm sorry, I'm not shouting at you. All I'm trying to talk is about facts. I don't want to discuss stories with you and who said what. I don't want to get into hearsay. All I'm saying is, let's stick to facts. Let's stick to some numbers. Can you tell me the numbers? I'll give you the numbers. But can you come back and give me the numbers where we faltered? Just numbers.
Will you behave like a gentleman and stop interrupting me? I will finish and then you can give me a counter attack.
That's exactly why Congress is not justifying.
Yeah, this is rude and impertinent behavior. Yeah, I'm making two fundamental points here.
I'm happy to get called rude in case I have to speak of the people of India.
Can I please, for the sake of everybody, can this be one debate on prime time in India? Can this be one prime time debate on India where we don't slander each other and make our point? As BTV, I assure you, we will provide as much time. It's my request to all our panelists, please let us be different from others and allow our viewers to understand what you are saying. So please, no interruptions. My fervent request to all of you, sirs. Please continue, Sanjay.
Yeah, my simple point, Siddharth, is this. that there are issues of the Swaminathan Commission recommendations. Some were implemented by us, many we could not finish because there was a change in government. I mean, the farmers have a right to ask that what have you done about the recommendations that Swaminathan Commission recommended? These are genuine issues. And today the farmers are feeling that they have been marginalized, that the corporate sector has got the bigger benefits from Narendra Modi's government, and legitimate protest is a part of a democratic system.
Can
Why
I ask
does
you
the
one
BJP
question?
believe that any
Sanjay,
protest
can I
is
ask you one
political?
question?
Yeah.
Sanjay, one quick question, 10-second answer. Where in the MS Swaminathan committee report does it promise or suggest loan waivers in perpetuity? Just one answer. Does it talk about loan waivers in perpetuity?
Well, let me tell you, loan waivers are given because the crisis becomes unmanageable. It can lead to serious farmer suicides. And that's the reason why loan waivers are not just to be treated as a long-term solution. There are simply, these are short-term panacea.
Sanjay, stop there. We'll run. Short answer. Vivek Awasthi, I want to ask you this political point, you know, and the same point that we were discussing. While we can ask tough questions of the BJP, they had assured doubling of farmer income. No one else did. You and I didn't. Weber, in all fairness and honesty. Vivek, the point is, moving on from this pickpocket and third-rate language that is used, the issue is, since 2009 till today, all that the opposition of the day can promise are either waivers or unrealistic MSPs. Take the example of the central Indian states in elections. 2,500 rupees MSP has been promised, whereas the market rate is 30-40% cheaper. Farmers are not even sending their produce. It will lead to distortion, cross-border interstate smuggling. Isn't there an intellectual deficit and bankruptcy in the entire opposition when it comes to constantly promising waiver? I am not against relief to a farmer. Give him a direct subsidy, but why keep talking about a waiver, Vivek?
This has become, you know, freebies, giving freebies and discussing freebies amongst voters has become a norm of the day. Once you approach elections, you only talk of freebies. Ki hum banenge to aapko ye free mein denge, wo free mein denge. It has become a practice these days. So I hardly find any relevance in it.
There is no relevance, and let's take that relevance point. Avik Saha, as a farmer leader, and I'm sure you are multilingual, Avik Sahaji, do you feel that a constant waiver in perpetuity kind of arrangement is the way to go about? Because, sir, sadly, and I repeat, I am not on the side of people who say, you know, there should be no farming subsidies. Europe provides more subsidies than elsewhere in the world. So, do you feel that the Congress or any other party for that matter distorts the debate by talking about waivers all the time?
AIKCC is not pro-loan waiver. That's not what we've said. That's the problem. The bills were very clear. The agrarian crisis is what has to be dealt with. And the crisis is because of unremunerative prices. International market, ENAM working, not working, whatever be the reasons. Now, if they don't get remunerative prices, they will fall into a debt trap. And the debt trap could lead to serious consequences, including suicide. The sector suffers. Food security suffers. I think when we discuss farmers' issues, we have to understand it as a national food security issue. Now, we have never said that loan waivers should be the norm. It is not an electoral issue. Unfortunately, whether BJP, Congress, or any other party uses it as an electoral issue, as a SOP, it actually takes us away from the understanding of the problem. We've asked for a one-time cleaning of the slate of all farm loans, agricultural crop loans. We have not even said that loans for, gold, jewelry, marriage, whatever other reasons taken by the farmers should be waived. We are saying that this guy could not earn profit because of you, and you've made him indebted. Now, you clean his debt, and at the same time, make sure he gets remunerative prices, because exactly the UPA experiment of 2009, the whole country's farmers got farm loan waivers, And we are back to the same story. We don't want to discuss the agrarian crisis again and again on prime time. We are trying to find a solution. Congress, BJP, everyone is free to join in to find that solution. Yeah, please.
And this is a national issue. Vivek Awasthi, very quickly, has the opposition, and I'm asking a political question as we wind up the debate, has the opposition been able to corner the government on the farm sector crisis in India? Do you get that sense as a political reporter of many, many years?
I don't think so. I don't think that the opposition has been, able to achieve what it wanted to, especially if you call up today's thing. The entire show was hijacked. Farmers started moving out of the area at 5 in the evening. They were distraught that their stage has been hijacked by politicians who are talking their own agenda, and they are criticizing the government but saying nothing for the interest of the farmer. So they went back dejected to their bases today.
Okay, and that's perhaps the real tragedy. It's been 10 years after a big farm loan waiver, and I remember the differences within the Congress party on that. $10 billion at that time, many, many billions since then, including in the states. Unfortunately, somewhere in this debate, we couldn't touch upon the fact that in the current round of elections also, the incumbent BJP governments have done waivers. So it's not just as if the Congress has a patent on this, but the real and substantial issues remain. And if I can add one editorial point at the very end, if there is to be an ordinance for a mandir, which will take care of the sentiment of millions of Hindus, perhaps an ordinance for the farm sector should also be put on the plate, and the opposition and the ruling party should come together and prove to the Kisan, to the backbone, to the reed of India, that they are willing to go beyond the normal and the obvious in supporting their future and ensuring that they get a good livelihood. With that, it's a wrap on this edition of The Big Story. News and updates will continue on the other side of this very short break. Stay with us.
Have you chosen the right fund? Is the fund meeting your objective? Is there a better option? Get expert advice. Tune into the MF Guide, Saturday at 10 a.m., Sunday at 2 p.m. Only on Business Television India.
पहाड़ सामने आ जाए या आगे बढ़ेगा, मौसम बदले पर ये ना झुकेगा। टाटा योद्धा, इसके मुकाबले में कोई नहीं टिक पाएगा। पावरफुल इंजन, मजबूत सस्पेंशन, बड़ी लोड बॉडी, ज्यादा कमाई और संपूर्ण सेवा का वादा। टाटा योद्धा, भरोसा हर कदम।
You're watching Business Television India.
Thanks for joining us on Trending Today. I'm Nivrita Ganguly, and this is what we have lined up for you over the next 30 minutes. On the agenda today, the Reserve Bank of India has relaxed norms for securitization transactions by NBFCs. We'll bring you the managements of Manappuram Finance, Repco Home Finance and Gruha Finance to gauge how this move will impact the sector. The bidding process for railway electrification projects is set to be reviewed, with guidelines likely to be modified, making the entire process more transparent. We'll connect with Vimal Kejriwal, MD and CEO of KEC International, to talk about how this will impact their business. And finally, we'll connect with Jamshed Cooper of Heidelberg Cement and KK Maheshwari, Managing Director at Ultratech Cement, to talk about the demand outlook in the cement sector as well as their business outlook going forward. Well, let's start by putting the focus on those new relaxations coming in from the Reserve Bank of India late yesterday. The RBI has essentially relaxed norms for securitization transactions by NBFCs. The minimum holding period has been cut to 6 months from what was earlier 12 months for loans with a maturity of over 5 years. And risk norms as well have been tightened for NBFCs, increasing the retention requirement as well. So now we've got with us VP Nandkumar, MD and CEO of Manappuram Finance, really talk about what kind of impact we should expect here. Mr. Nandkumar, thanks very much for joining in. Always good to have you on. My first question, essentially, how will this impact your company?
No, this will definitely be a welcome step for the sector, and our company also is benefited because our commercial vehicle portfolio, which is nearly 1,000 crores, as well as our home loan portfolio of around 500 crores, the liquidity as well as microfinance. The relaxed norm, reducing the holding period, minimum holding period to 6 months, is very much positively get impacted.
All right, so your housing finance portfolio is about 500 crores, vehicle finance about 1,000 crores, and microfinance, if I'm not mistaken, that stands at just under 3,000 crores. So overall, we're looking at about 4,500 crore of your portfolio that would qualify this for this easing that's been given for securitization. Is that right?
Right.
All right.
Out of this portfolio, nearly over 3,000 crore portfolio will benefit from the relaxation. From these can be securitized as the minimum holding period has been reduced. So around 1,000 crores are added to the pool.
All right, understood. So this, I would assume the 1,000 crores then would be those loans that have that come under the 6-month period rather than the 12-month period earlier. Is that right?
Right.
At this point, sir, if you could give us a sense, we have been touching base every so often as we've been, navigating this difficult liquidity time. But what is your borrowing at the moment from the short-term debt market?
Our borrowing in the CP market, which is the short-term market, is around 25% on the consolidated level. Whereas we have the ALM, which is still positive, because our major loan book is our AEM comprises 3 months duration gold loan. So the borrowing is the short-term borrowing is on an average of 90 days. So it gets there is a perfect match there. So this where the 75% of the consolidated AEM is in gold loan, this 25% in of the portfolio in short-term borrowing, that doesn't really affect our ALM matching.
Okay, and at what rate have you been borrowing, if you could give us an idea?
That has gone up to 9.5%, but yesterday we borrowed at 8.4%. So it has gone up, but now it is cooling down.
All right, so at the moment then, what is the kind of exposure in terms of credit lines from banks?
We have 55% of our total loan arranged is from the banking system, out of which 2,000 crores limit is the unavailed portion from the banks. We have sufficient liquidity.
All right, just a final question then on gold prices. We've seen prices go up by about 4% if we look at it from the August low. Does that mean that your loan value has gone up as well? What should we expect in terms of financials for the third quarter?
Now the gold price has cooled down in Indian market because the rupee has appreciated. Even though the gold price there is, the international gold price is steady at around 1,225, etc. So since the rupee has appreciated, in the Indian market the gold price remains at a rate which was prior to the gold price gone up in the recent past. So now it has cooled down by 100-150 rupees. So I think this will remain here. So we don't expect any positive impact out of that.
All right, fair enough. Expect prices to remain stable at these levels. We leave it at that. A pleasure speaking to you. That's VP Nandkumar, MD and CEO at Manappuram Finance. Gold prices to remain where they are. The 10% gold loan growth outlook also remains in place for fiscal 19. In fact, staying with the same theme, we also spoke to the managements of Repco Home Finance and Grow Finance to talk about how this move will impact their companies going forward. Listen in to what they had to say.
I think, first of all, it's a very temporary relaxation they have given. The RBI has given this relaxation only for a period of 6 months. So probably it will be valid from yesterday's date till probably the end of month of May of 2019. So I think the period opened is only for a very limited period. But looking at, the minimum holding period, which has been reduced from, 1 year to 6 months, I think that would help, increase the pool which can be offered for securitization to the banks. So I think it's a small step in the direction of easing the liquidity, and therefore it is appreciated.
Sure, sir. Sir, what percentage of your loans are of longer tenor, and after this move, would you be looking to sell down more post this notification?
We would have a very large portion of the loans which would be, for a tenure more than 5 years, because we have a small ticket loans where generally the amortization doesn't happen at a much faster rate. So obviously we have a large pool of the loans which would be eligible for securitization. However, at current stage, we are not looking at, securitizing any of our loan book.
Yashpal Gupta, the COO of Repco Home Finance, is with us. Good to have you, Mr. Gupta. Just put this RBI directive in perspective for us. New asset securitization norms, the time for 5-year loan maturity has now been cut to 6 months, and now you can sell those. But you have a higher risk appetite. You need to hold on to 20% of those loans versus 10% earlier. In effect, how does this impact your company? How does this impact the industry?
As far as our company is concerned, which we have said multiple times, that so far our company has never resorted to securitization route. So for us, it does not affect much. But yes, it does provide an opportunity, and particularly to the other NBFCs and HFCs which are quite aggressive or active in the securitization market, holding on a minimum period from 1 year to 6 months does provide a window of opportunity to these HFCs and NBFCs to sell part of their portfolio and generate liquidity. But yes, 20% holding norm reduces their ability, but overall in terms of timing, it will be positive for the sector.
Sir, you said you haven't looked at that opportunity yet, but any possibility of you looking at that opportunity in the future?
Yeah, we are always open to all types of opportunities. We have to always compare with the cost-benefit analysis. For example, our average cost of borrowing for the 6 months ended September 30 was 8.2%. Now, if securitization gives us around that rate, maybe say maximum 8.5%, then yes, we can look at. But if securitization, what we hear from the market is that most of the NBFCs and HFCs are selling that portfolio at 9+%. So for us, it doesn't make sense in that because the cost of selling is about 9%, whereas our average cost of borrowing is about 8.2%. But yes, we are always in discussions with the stakeholders, and as and when an opportunity arises and which we feel is good for us, we will explore that.
Time now for a quick break. On the other side, we connect with the managements of Ultratech Cement as well as Heidelberg Cement to get their outlook for the cement sector.
It's a call you don't want to miss. The stock you want to trade. What does the chart hold for you? Today's bets. Weekdays at 8:30 a.m. Only on Business Television India. BTVI, your share. Weekdays at 11:30 a.m. Only on Business Television India.
Powered by BSE. Experience the new.
National Insurance brings to you an insurance cover specially designed for today's professionals from various sectors and indemnifying them from legal liabilities as a result of the professional service rendered and allows them to carry out their work with greater confidence and peace of mind. Professional indemnity policy from National Insurance. National Insurance, trusted since 1906.